How's it guys? This video is all about the warp stabilizer effect in Premiere Pro. And I want to show you guys how to overcome a certain error that comes up if you use the warp stabilizer effect with other effects. So let's jump in and show you how it works. Alright, so we've got our footage in our timeline and I've got a few pieces of footage here with varying degrees of handheldness. So let's start with this one of the plane. I'll play it through. This is without any effects on it. As you can see, it's actually pretty smooth. At the bottom there is a bit of movement and it's bumping. So in order to combat that and overcome that, you need to throw on the warp stabilizer. Basically, it's going to take your footage and try and stabilize it in the best way that it knows how. So what it'll do is it'll slightly change the position, the rotation, it'll scale in and out a little bit in order to make the footage appear stable, but at the sacrifice of a bit of scale. So often when you put the warp stabilizer effect on, at the end of it, you'll see that it's scaled in because the AI needs that real estate on the edge of your video in order for the effect to work properly. So we go into our effects panel here and we type in warp stabilizer. There it is. Drop that baby onto our footage. What it's going to do, it's going to analyze all the frames. So the first time you pop it on, it'll take a little bit of time to go through frame by frame and adjust each frame. When you put the warp stabilizer on, it's always going to start out at 50% power. I find most of the time 50% is too powerful. I like to put it between 4 to 10% in that range for most of the footage that I use, but you'll see later on that with some pieces of footage, the warp stabilizer effect won't work. All right, so we've got our effect on, and if you come over to the left here, you can see it's at smooth 50%. Let's play through that now. This is without changing anything. I mean, that's actually really good, but not all footage is going to be this easy. Sometimes you'll get some footage that is way more jumpy. I'm going to do the same thing on this clip. So if we play through it, you can see there's tons and tons of movement. There's a big shake right over there, and you'll see what happens now when I add the warp stabilizer onto that, how that affects the actual footage. Right, so I've added the warp stabilizer onto this. Let's play through it now and see how it looks. Watch for that big jump on the bottom left. There you go. There was some crazy warping going on. So you can try to battle this again. I'll bring this thing down to 4% so that we have a little bit of warp stabilizer put onto our footage. But problem with this footage, as you can see it still doesn't look very natural when it comes to footage like this, and this is the problem with warp stabilizer. It doesn't work on all pieces of footage. This one looks a little bit too unnatural for me, even though I've dropped it just to a few percent. It's still doing a bit of its warping. I would say I wouldn't use this, or I would just take the warp stabilizer off and just go fully handheld. Just go for that handheld feeling. It might not be exactly what you're looking for, but you have a choice. You can either use it as it is, or you could choose not to use it in your footage. That's the choice. Sometimes it doesn't work with all pieces of footage. There is an error that I want to go through quickly, and I'll throw it onto this piece of footage. So I'll drop the warp stabilizer down to about 10%. Okay, and let's change the speed up. I think it's too slow, right? I'm going to change it to 200% and hit enter. And you get this error that pops up. Warp stabilizer and speed can't be used on the same clip. You might get a few other errors with a similar type of message. The way to get over this, very, very simple. We just go back, so Command Z or Control Z, and you right click on your footage, click on nest. Call it anything you want. It's going to go green, which means that it's nested. And now if we go to our speed and duration and speed it up, get 200%, the whole clip will be stabilized as well as sped up. So that's just a little tip if you get stuck with that error, which I've had many times and it's been very frustrating. Hey guys, but that is it. I hope that's helped you in some way. If it has, like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out some of the other videos on my channel. I'll see you guys around. Cheers.